Welcome to my new channel, The Crime Vault. Episode 1. The Copycat. Everyone has heard of the Zodiac Killer. He was an unknown killer that terrorized San Francisco in the 1960s. He was never caught. Although everyone has heard of this killer, few are aware of his copycat in New York City. The Zodiac Killer of New York. In 1990, New York police faced a crazed gunman, shooting strangers late at night with homemade weapons. His haunting letters would lead authorities to wonder if a serial killer from the 1960s had re-emerged. On May 30, 1990, an elderly gentleman, Joe Prose, was walking home when he was shot in the back by an unknown assailant hidden in the shadows. He would die 3 weeks later. When police detectives arrived at the crime scene, they discovered a note with the victim. The note told police that there had been 2 previous victims of this mysterious unknown assailant. Even more unnerving, however, was that the note suggested that the mysterious assailant was actually the original Zodiac Killer, come back to start killing and terrorizing all over in New York City. On March 8, 1990, Mario Orozco, a middle-aged man, was shot in front of his house. He survived the attack, but did not see or know his attacker. On March 29, 1990, Jermaine Montenestro, another middle-aged man, was shot. He, too, would survive, but he also did not see or know his assailant. Once detectives confirmed the validity of the note, they took it very serious. Thinking they were dealing with the original Zodiac Killer, detectives consulted with astrologists, trying to determine the day he would kill again. They were wrong. They missed by 2 days. On June 19, 1990, Larry Poirot, a homeless man, was shot by the Zodiac Killer. He would survive his attack. He was sleeping when he was shot and did not see the shooter. The assailant left another note. He also left a print. Police were able to determine they were not dealing with the original Zodiac Killer. However, the Zodiac leaving a thumbprint on the note was leaked to the press. The killer saw this and went dark for 4 years, leaving a city uneasy and terrified. Although Zodiac appeared to stop, his compulsions got the better of him. On August 10, 1992, Patricia Font was shot with a zip gun but was also stabbed to death over 100 times. Because of the brutality, it was missed as a Zodiac killing. On June 4, 1993, James Weber, a middle-aged man, was shot from the shadows. He survived but did not see the shooter. The Zodiac Killer still stayed silent and did not communicate with the NYPD. On July 20, 1993, John Diaco, a late middle-aged man, was shot in the neck. He would die at the scene. No note was left behind. Zodiac continued to stay dark. It is rumored that NYPD knew these were Zodiac killings but didn't tell the public. On October 2, 1993, Diane Ballard, an early middle-aged woman, was shot in the neck. She would survive. She did not see or know her assailant. Zodiac continued to be careful and leave no forensics at the scenes of his crimes. In 1994, the Zodiac Killer of New York finally re-established communications with the NYPD. He sent a note claiming the 92 and 93 murders as his work. He also claimed another victim, but police were unable to identify this victim. The NYPD did get something besides the note. They were able to obtain DNA from the envelope. It would still be 2 years before Zodiac would resurface. On June 18, 1996, a 26-year man got into a fight with his half-sister, Gladys Reyes. She was 20 years old. They fought because of her boyfriend. The brother was an Eddie Sader. The fight became so heated that he shot Gladys in the back. Gladys was able to get away to a neighbor's place. Her brother didn't go after her. From there, she called NYPD and told them that she was shot by her brother. She also told them that her brother had a lot of guns. The NYPD immediately sent out multiple officers to the apartment where Gladys and Eddie lived. While the NYPD cordon the area off, inside the apartment, Eddie gets ready to fight. He initially holds Gladys's boyfriend hostage, but eventually lets him go unharmed. Almost immediately, from the arrival of the NYPD, Eddie starts shooting at them from his apartment. They are forced to take cover. The standoff lasts for hours. Eventually, police are able to talk Eddie down. He gives himself up, peacefully, without further incidents. After Eddie is arrested, police confiscate his weapons. They notice he has a lot of homemade zip guns. After being arrested, Eddie signs a confession and gives it to the police. The signed confession is given to the detective on the scene. That detective was Captain Joseph Herbert. He, also, was the lead detective for the New York Zodiac killer case. Eddie signed the letter with a familiar Zodiac symbol, a cross with sevens. When Detective Heber saw this confession letter, he immediately recognized the symbol. From there, Eddie Sader's DNA was tested and his fingerprints against the Zodiac evidence. Detective Heber stated, "I remember the feeling to this day. It was a very calm feeling because I knew we had him. I studied those letters for 4 years, and it was ingrained in not only in my memory, all the guys who worked the Zodiac task force." Heriberto Eddie Sader, age 26, was arrested and charged with 3 counts of murder and 5 counts of attempted murder. The fingerprint and the DNA from the Zodiac killer case evidence matched. Initially, Eddie denied he was the Zodiac killer. Heriberto Eddie Sader was convicted in 1998 and sentenced to 232 years. He serves his time at the Attica Correctional Facility in New York. He now spends most of his time reading scripture to other inmates. That concludes our episode of The Copycat. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video and wish to see more, then like and subscribe so you don't miss any new videos.